Okay, guys, so we just want to show you what we look at to know whether the market's going to go in a particular direction. So generally what we're looking at is to see where the high point is and where the low point is. So here is the high point, and the market has got very close to the high point. As you can see, the high was there, went up, went down, went to the low, then went back up. Okay, now was three tops, 1, 2, and essentially it wasn't able to break past this zone. So yesterday, the market dropped significantly, okay, then went up, and it's continued to drop. All right, so if we look at this factor here, and now we can see that potentially a new sell is actually going to be called very, very shortly, as you can see on GBPAUD, because whenever the price breaks through, I'm going to show you how the alerts actually work. Whenever the price breaks through this particular zone, if it's going up, it calls a buy. So it'll call a buy there. Whenever price breaks beneath the blue zone, it will call a sell. So you see here, it called a buy here because it broke through this zone. Because it broke down as a sell, it called a sell there. So right now, we're expecting to see GBPAUD break through here, and a sell alert will be called, either after 10 or after 2 o'clock, etc. That's what we're looking for. But the main thing to understand is we look and see, well, it's at the high and it's now going to drop down to the low, right? If it had continued buying, then of course, but as you can see, the shape has been fulfilled from the past, okay? And it just wasn't able to break beyond that key point. If we look at GBP/NZD now, once again, GBP/NZD, as you can see, is at the high, right? So we expect it to drop from the high, which you can see here, down to the low. Now, if you look from the high to the low, that's going to be a lot of pips from there down to the low, right? Well over 500 pips. GBP CAD, let's take a look. This one is more in the middle, actually. It's at the low and it's now going towards the average. It could potentially continue on, so you wait out for that. All right, but essentially what we're looking for, again, it's if we look at this particular zone, let me just zoom in a bit, actually. If we look at this particular zone, it's copied what it did in the past here. The question is, will it break past this area? If it breaks past this area, then of course it will continue to buy, but I expect that to sell as well. So we can see GBP/NZD is now going blue. When I say about the colors, GBP/NZD's colors are changing to blue. My blue is a sell, my yellow, as you can see, is a buy. And it's going more blue. If I look at GBPAUD, my yellow, as you can see here, are buying colors, and my blue are selling colors, and you can see it's turning more blue. Okay, so whenever you're looking at your colors, maybe you've got red and green on your charts, just be aware of when the colors start changing, especially around the 4-hour time frame. When they start changing, there's a good chance that there's a reversal coming. But as you can see, the main thing we look at is we look at where it's at the lowest point and where the highest point is. And if it gets near to the high and it will not continue to break beyond that high, we know we're coming down to the low. All right, hope that makes a lot of sense. And as you can see, getting more and more blue as time goes by, and you'll expect to receive an alert soon. The best alerts come from about 2 o'clock, but the 10 o'clock ones are good as well. The reason why we always say wait for 2 or late into 10 or even 11 o'clock is because sometimes the market might just throw a wick and then come back up into a buy. I'll repeat, sometimes the market might throw a wick and then come back up into a buy. So if you do not keep a close attention of time, sometimes at 2 o'clock, it will just get everything done. As you can see at 2 o'clock, it went up with no issue yesterday, right? But then it continued to come back down. So you want to be aware of that sometimes the alerts will come just because a wick came out of the zone. I hope that makes sense. So if a wick comes out of the zone, it will call a buy, but it may not be a solid buy. Wait for our actual updates on that, okay? But as you can see, it's just getting more and more blue, and an alert is about to pop out. And you can see GBP/NZD, same way, is at the high and it's coming down to the low. And pay attention to this section here, okay? You can see when it's at this point, we understand that it's overbought. The market is overbought when it's at this point and it's coming down to here. When it's at down this point, it's oversold. All right, that's another confirmation. All right, so you can start looking at things like your D marker to know when the market is overbought and oversold. Look at GBP/NZD, you can see it's getting more and more blue as we talk. Right, now let's take a look here. Let's look at GBPAUD. right? And you can see an alert's about to pop out. But look where we got him. We're able to anticipate the move, right? But watch this. It was overbought. Do you see? So it reached up here, it's overbought, and that's why we're able to now start moving down into the sell. So I hope that's been very, very helpful. So always look at your charts. Just when you drive, just like when you're driving, look through your mirrors. Don't just get in and say, oh, you know, start looking at the colors, start looking at, well, it reached its last previous high. Now, as you can see, guys, there's the alert. That's how this works. There you go.